Yo everybody, welcome back. We're here for the Sunken Pearls full guide. So it's going to be a guide over how to get through all of the tall tales. None of the accommodations are going to be in here at journal locations. It's just a guide about doing the actual tale itself. So I'm going to try to make this short, sweet, and simple just like the last one. We're going to go ahead and fire this one up when you run over to the campsite. Vote on that second shelving for the Sunken Pearl. And then you're going to have a beam of light appear. It only appears, as far as I can tell, down below Golden Sands, like out in the southwest corner of the map. It's going to be down here in this little corner. It's appeared there every time. So my little pro tip to start off is, if you want to do this tale or if you're working on it, try and get a spawn near Golden Sands or Plunder, as they're the two closest outposts for you to get a start heading over there to it. Alright, once you get close enough to the blue light, you're going to hear some music start playing, letting you know you're entering the right area for the tall tale. You're going to see these sunken ship parts right here. Once you see those, you know you've arrived. Go ahead and drop your anchor. You're going to go ahead and you're going to sword lunge off or jump down. And you're going to swim to the bottom, and you're going to follow this trail hooked by a line of sunken ship parts and different pieces, and you're going to be able to go deeper than we ever have before because you're entering a new part of the map, a new area called the Sunken Kingdom. Now as you're traveling down right here, as you're about to see, there's going to be certain points, because you're wondering probably, how do you breathe? There's going to be little plants every now and then. They're going to have very, very obvious bubbles blowing up, and you can stop in those whenever you need to go ahead and catch you a breath of fresh air. So right here in just a minute, you're got to see, I'm going to go ahead and pull up to these real quick and show you what it looks like. It seems like they also buffed your breathing, so you can breathe a decent bit longer while you're swimming around down here, but that makes sense considering a majority of this tale you're going to be swimming around underwater. Alright, you're going to follow that pathway down until you hit a certain point. It'll start cutting straight out. You're going to swim straight forward until you hit this part where you see the black pearl itself. Go ahead and swim over here towards the staircase on the ship itself. You're going to go down this way and follow this pathway. Now you're going to have some debris. All you got to do is simply hit the interact button to move all of it out of your way. You have to move two pieces right there initially. You got a couple more. You got a cannon to move up here next. And you're doing all this so you can get to this body that you're about to see over here of an ocean crawler. And you need to get this key that unlocks the cabin. That way you can get Captain Jack's compass. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And they have a little animation there for you to watch. Alright, and you pull that out, and then you're going to go ahead and head back up, like I said. Go straight to the captain's quarters right here. And as soon as you open this up, it's going to be right here on the table in front of you. Pretty hard to, not get it, so it's right there, pretty obvious. Cool thing about this little item as well is it's going to point you in the direction of everywhere else you need to go for the rest of the tale. So that helps as well, but it also gives one to everyone on your team. As you see right there, it's a quest item, so everybody has access to it, so it's not just one person. But anyway, you're going to follow the compass. That red line is going to point you in the direction you need to keep going. But the guide will help you as well, obviously. So right here, as you see, it's pointing down towards this whole area. So we're going to go ahead and enter into this cave. Alright, two things to know going forward about this tall tale that I don't want to repeat. Just want to go ahead and let you know now. You'll see us do it some in the video. And you have these purple things whenever you hit an area that seems like it has a force field in front of it. If you hit that little purple flower, it opens it up and then allows you access into things. So like right there in the cave, whenever you initially hit like the very beginning of the cave, you hit one right there. That way you can get to the next part. And there's a couple more of those along the way, so be aware of that. And also the second thing about this tall tale, as the first one had a theme of lighting the candles and the lights everywhere, the theme in this one's going to deal with the statues and how there's paintings on the wall, and I'll explain that further in just a moment. Alright, after traveling the cave, eventually you hit this room and you're going to fight a bunch of enemies after hearing a voice line from the Siren Queen. And then once you eventually clear all those waves and kill this final enemy, he's going to drop a statue heart or a mermaid statue piece, as you see right here. Now you're going to go ahead, pick that up, the stone heart, and you're going to look for the mermaid statue. There's going to be 3 in each room in areas like this. You're going to find the one that doesn't have a heart in the center of it, and that's where you're going to place this piece. You see that heart that one has right there, and we'll go over and check the second one. It doesn't have one, boom. And now you saw that there was paintings on this big wall behind me right here. Notice in each of their hands there's 3 different items they're holding. The way we're labeling it, it looks like one's holding a pearl, one's holding a piece of coral, and then one's holding a chain. And you notice that all 3 of them have their staffs in their other hand at a different height. We got low, mid, and high. And then you have a 4th statue with a horn. So basically you're just going to do matching. You're going to find each matching piece, like the coral was mid. So you're going to make sure that coral's at mid, it is, and then you're going to look and you'll find the chain and the pearl piece, make sure that their staffs are like corresponding to the same level, the same height. You basically want to make sure all 3 of those match. Once they all do match, you're going to look at the one mermaid. It'll be another bigger statue with a horn in its hand. Once you've confirmed all 3 are matching, you're just going to look towards the one with the horn, go ahead and give it a tap, and if you're correct, You give it just a second, the horn blows, and if everything's done right, rooms will start filling with water or unfilling with water depending on where you're at in this tall tale. So once again, just make sure that you're matching up all your statues. That's the main theme with this tall tale. And as you see right here, the water starts pouring in, and that's how we're going to get up going from this first room. Alright, once the water fills, your next step, you're going to turn around in the water and look. You'll have a second set of paintings. You're just going to go back down underwater, match all the statues to what that picture says, and then hit your horn, and it's going to activate this geyser. You'll just go over to the geyser, and it's going to yeet you up here in this third spot. This third floor, you're going to have another wave of enemies that you're about to have to clear out, so go ahead and get prepared for that. There is a box over here to change your weapons, so everything should be good for you there. There's also an ammo box up there, and you're just going to fight and clear all these guys out. Alright, so you beat those enemies, and then you have another wall painting in that room as well. Go ahead and find your mermaids in this room. So the third one's in a little tricky spot. You're going to look around the room, come over here where I'm at, look up, and they're up on top of this little like cliff. So sometimes you just got to be a little bit more aware. Go ahead and match those paintings up though. You'll hit that horn and it'll rise you back up, and you're going to follow this pathway once you get lifted up by the water again. You're going to go up this little spine and just follow the path up top. It's going to put you in this tiny room, and then you're going to hear the Siren Queen come back and see a surprise guest make an appearance. I'll go ahead and let you see what pops up real quick.
Is she not beautiful and eager to play with my greatest prize? A royal gift.
Alright, so we learned that the Siren Queen has the kraken as a pet that she got from Davy Jones himself, so that's going to be something we'll have to deal with later. But anyway, the next step in the tall tale is she calls in her royal guard for you to fight, which is basically just going to be a couple of waves of sirens. They're both blue and green. The green hit harder because they use tridents. The blue just rush you, and they also do like singing attacks. They also can heal and attack you at the same time, so just make sure you kill them quick and swiftly. They're pretty tough, so be careful. But after you clear enough waves of sirens, eventually when you kill those last ones, you're going to see another siren stone or heart pop up in just a second. As you're about to see right here, we're killing this last one right here in the wave. Once he dies, you're going to go ahead and see the little heart pop up with the stone. You're going to grab that, and you see the black pearls anchored down. Where those chains are connecting into the wall, you're just going to follow that and head towards this giant door over in this area right here, and I'll show you what to do once we get there. Alright, it's just going to be rinse and repeat. We're going to go ahead and take that siren stone over here, find the one that doesn't have it, place it in. You saw those drawings on the bottom left and right. You're just going to match up the level of their staff where they're holding it, and then shoot the siren horn right there. It'll open up this door for you, and then we're going to go ahead and enter this next area. Alright, you're going to be swimming around this area. It's completely underwater. You're going to see all the statues down here. Another painting for you. It's the same thing, just keep it going. Except this time, the siren horn, you're going to swim up here to the top, and you can also get air from this little spot, as there's an air pocket right there. You're going to look around right up here, and you're going to find the siren with the horn. It's going to be right there for you. And keep this in mind, because we're going to use this same area again in the next area. And that sounds a little confusing, but you'll see what I mean in just a minute, because we're going to use the same siren horn twice, except in two different ways. But anyway, you go ahead and hit that, and it's going to drain this room for you. All the water's going to come out, and you're going to have to deal with another couple waves of enemies. I highly recommend there's going to be a group of tridents in one little corner of the room. They easily like 2 and 3 tap all the enemies in here, so just go over here, get your buddy, or if you're solo, etc. All you guys just grab a trident, hide up there, and boom, as you see, you can 2 tap all these enemies in here. It goes pretty quick. Alright, once you've killed all the enemies, you're going to use this pulley right here to go ahead and open that door up. Once you get this giant door opened up, then you're going to come into this next giant room, and it can be a little bit confusing because of how big the room is itself, but no need to fear. Took us a while to figure it out our first try with no guides, about 30-40 minutes, because we got kind of confused. So this part's helpful. You're going to go ahead and use this pulley to pull that down for yourself. Now understand, everything on the pulleys have automatic timers, like they automatically will re-pull the other way, so you can go ahead and run over here with your buddy, hop on. It's going to go ahead and lift you guys up, and then you're going to follow this path right here. Just jump off once the thing goes all the way back up. You're going to follow this pathway right here, up the wooden planks and around. And don't fall like I did, just make sure you jump around or go through the ship. You're going to go down this pathway right here. Now once you enter over here, remember when I said you're going to use that same siren twice, the siren horn? Because this is the room you just fought in, except you have a different painting for the same room. So you're going to go ahead, shoot everything right there, try and match it up the best you can. You got the 3 different little mermaids. You're going to go ahead and shoot them from in there. You have an ammo box behind you, so don't be afraid to, let it rip. And if you mess up, you can always reset them how you need to. Do whatever you want, but pay attention right here at this next part, because the siren horn itself is pretty difficult to hit. There's one spot in here you can hit it from. If you look right here, I got real lucky and found this little spot, kind of cheesy. If you pop it right there, you'll see the horn go off, so you can get it from right there. But the easier angle, if you want a better shot, you just come back here behind this one piece of the ship, and right there, that's the same siren horn. You can go ahead and hit it, and it's going to fill that room up with water. All right, so if you go ahead and let the room fill up with water, you're going to just find this little ladder right here, and then there's a pulley system on top. Go ahead and lift that up for your friend. You're just going to go across. If you cut to the left, there's a little hole in the wall over there. You can find this key for the cabin and the silver blade in this next room. If you just go to the right, you're just going to go straight to the room for the next part of the tall tale. Anyway, as you see right there, you're going to hit this flower. We went to the left and grabbed the key. It's just in that room straight ahead. It's very simple, very straightforward. That's the silver blade right there for you. So you're just going to go up this pathway on the left. Now, having the key is just part of one of the accommodations. I'll make a separate video for that later. But if you bring the key up here, you're going to go ahead and take it to the cabin or the captain's quarters up here. You open it up, and all you get is this accommodation for the Everlasting Sorrow chest. I thought it was a pretty cool chest, and we were really hoping it was going to make money. Sadly, we finished all the way through the tall tale with it, and it's only worth 6K. So honestly, not really worth it. Worth it for opening the door for the accommodation, not worth it for the money. So don't worry about it unless you want to keep it. Anyway, though, get ready for an epic battle. It's going to be really fun in here if it works right for you. Alright, so what I mean by if it works right for you is you saw there's a cannonball crate over there on the left and there's a food crate on the right. The way it's supposed to work when it's working right is those keep replenishing automatically non-stop, and so you have a pretty good supply, you know, an unlimited supply of cannonballs, etc. The 2 times we've done this so far, our cannonballs, we'd either get a little bit or we'd have none at all, and then they don't respawn. So it's something Riz probably going to have to work on because it's definitely a bug. Anyway, the way this area works is you have an anchor right there behind you, and you have enemies that are going to keep shooting you to keep the ship from falling. Your goal is to use the anchor to turn it and raise the ship up as you get to the very top of this little cave area you're in. But you need to clear all the enemies first. That's the best way we've learned. It's a solid amount of enemies per wave. They hop on cannons and they shoot at you. So it's about 3 floors high, and I think it's about 3 or 4 waves of enemies per floor. So the first 2 floors are just the enemies spawning in. You just cannonball them, crank the anchor, it lifts it up until you reach the next level. You'll know you're there when you see more cannons and enemies. That's going to be the first 2 floors. Then when you get to the very top, that's where you're going to have your first mini boss fight, and you're going to be fighting the Kraken. Alright, you keep cranking that anchor until you have the Siren Queen start giving you lines, and she's going to tell the Kraken to come forth and fight you. So the way this Kraken fight happens, there's 2 series or 2 parts to it. Now the first part, you're going to see tentacles. I wouldn't really focus on them too heavily. You have an ammo chest right there by the mast, and the first part, you're going to have enemies dropping down onto the ship with you, fighting you. You need to focus on those enemies once they start plopping in. Once you clear about 3 or 4 waves of those, you're going to finish the first part of the fight. The Kraken's going to disappear for a minute and then reappear fully, and that's when you're going to have the actual fight with the Kraken itself. Alright, tips for this fight. As you see right there, the Kraken's going to be there. Just shoot the crap out of it. Mainly shoot its face or its tentacles. Doesn't matter. I haven't noticed anywhere, at least, any spots of like extra weakness, etc. that actually hurt it. It has 3 attacks. It bites your ships, and its tentacles left and right hit the ships. Now you can dodge the tentacle attacks or just moving to the other side of the ship when it's hitting you. But the bites, I haven't found a way to dodge those just yet. I'm thinking you could jump to avoid the damage, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, when you finish that fight, as you saw, you just go up the mast, follow this path right here. You're going to swim through this way, and then whenever you get to the very end right here, you'll have another flower. If any of your teammates died, they're going to respawn in here at the very end of the fight, if they did die. It's very common when the bite attack pushes you off the ship a lot and you fall to your death. But anyway, you're going to pop up in this area right here, and then you're going to get prepared for your final fight. Alright, you're going to walk right up here, right by that ammo crate. There's usually a stack of tridents, so everybody in your crew can go ahead and get one. When everyone walks into this room, the final fight starts. The room fills with water, and everybody go ahead and get your tridents out, and you're going to fight the Siren Queen herself. Now, she has 3 waves. Once you damage her enough, she runs away, summons her minions. You fight off a wave of those. She comes back, fight the minions, and then she comes back for a 3rd and final time. And once you go ahead and get rid of her for that last time, that's pretty much it. You have 1 more step, and then you'll actually complete the whole tall tale. So don't think just because you killed the Siren Queen that the tale's over itself. There's 1 final step. Alright, and then your final step to actually complete the tale itself and get the credit, the accommodation, etc. When you shoot this purple flower at the end of the water maze, you're going to pop out and see 3 sirens in there, and you're going to think nothing of it. But make sure you go ahead and damage those. Shoot them and watch what happens. You're going to have Jack's crew fall out of each of those because they were trapped inside the statue bodies. Anyway, you're going to have a short dialogue with them. Everybody loves Gibbs. You're going to go ahead and talk to everybody, and then at the very end of it, as you see right here, you're going to go ahead and hand the compass back to them. Once that compass is handed off, you get credit for completing the tall tale, and then you're going to go ahead and get ready to watch the guide on the 3rd one. Like I said, I'm going to get one of these guides out every day So there'll be 5 days worth of content, and then we're gonna go back through. I have journal locations put in there throughout the days. I'm also gonna work on getting out accommodation videos. I'm trying to make them all as short and sweet as possible. Everyone's time is valuable to them, and I know that people don't like to watch super long guides, begging for subs, etc., all that stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll make sure to see you in the next one.